Welcome, guys, back to the I Love Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, as always, Justin Woolwine. Today we are welcome with Maximo Suave. How we doing, man?
Doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on.
Of course, is something we've been trying to work out for quite some time.
Yeah,
Finally,
yeah.
we got you on here.
We got it. We finally getting there right now.
I'm excited. How you doing? I know you've been busy. WrestleMania week, leading out of WrestleMania. Just catch us up. How's Maximo doing?
Tired, beat up. If it's not work, it's wrestling. And then my wife convinced me to do the gym, so it's all those three. It's we're always on the go.
Always on the go.
It's very rare we get a day off. And when we do get a day off, like, oh, we're gonna do this. We don't. We relax.
It's a good thing. No, like sometimes notice stay a body, a body at rest stays at rest, body in motion stays in motion. So
Yeah.
staying busy is the best thing for us. And it looks like you and your lovely wife are doing quite well. You got championship gold. What's that like being a champions, same promotion? How's that feel?
Uh, it's interesting, but it shows that we both put in the hard work and we go out there and we leave it all out there, make sure that we tell the stories that we need to tell in the ring and make sure that everybody involved enjoys what we're doing. And it also shows that the company has faith in us and know that they can run with us.
Definitely, definitely. Before we dive into your wrestling journey, would you
Yeah.
like to plug your social medias and things like that? Just let the fans know
Social
where they can find you.
media, honestly, social media, all of them at Maximo Suave.
I love it. Easy, simple, easy to
Easy,
make
simple,
links for.
everything.
I love it. We'll just get into the first question then. We are the I
Yeah.
Love Wrestling podcast. When did you find wrestling, and what about this sport made you fall in love with it?
I found wrestling at a very, very young age. My father and mother both worked, so since they didn't have time to spend time together during the week, one weekend they decided, hey, we're gonna go out. They talked to my uncle to see if he babysit me. He goes, oh, sure. So him and his wife, my aunt, babysat me and let me watch cartoons. So I'm from New York City, so in New York, Saturday mornings from like 8 to 11 was cartoons, and then from 11 to 1 was wrestling. So my uncle let me watch cartoons, and then at 11 he looked at my arms like he's watching wrestling because that's what I'm watching. And she's like, no, but he's a baby, let him. And he's like, no, he's gonna watch wrestling with me. It's gonna turned it on, and I've been hooked ever since.
Okay, who were some of like the guys or girls back then that really captivated you? Who were you paying attention to the most?
Bret Hart,
Okay.
the Hogans, the Macho Mans, and like all the characters from the 80s like really grabbed my attention. Some made me hate them, because $1 Million Man was a horrible person, and I just couldn't wait till somebody got their hands on him. But like the Pipers, smashing Snuka with a coconut is like, what? Gotta see what's
Really?
gonna happen next week.
So you're watching all these cast of characters and all these men that you love and some you hate. What about them made you decide to ultimately get into the ring and start training?
Well, Brett with the technician, like there's in that time nobody was touching Brett
Mhm.
other than Steamboat, but Steamboat was in WWE at the time for a short period of time. But just the way they could tell the stories in the ring, and then the way they grabbed the people's attention is like, I think I could do that. And God bless and God rest my uncle. So I would tell him that, like, I want to be a wrestler. He's like, you could do it. So you got to grow a little bit, but you'll be able to do it.
So when did you, start searching and start looking for wrestling schools and, start training?
So here's a funny thing about that. I was not.
Okay.
I almost became a professional baseball player. Don't mind the noise. That's my wife making dinner for us. The blender's in the back going. Uh, I was scouted to be a I was scouted to be a professional baseball player. I almost played for the New York Mets, and
Okay.
that fell through. Didn't happen. So then I was a senior in high school, and the school that I went to, in order to graduate, you didn't take state testing. they treated it like a college. So you had to perform a project. It had to be like 6 to 8 months long. And my teacher was like, "Oh man, you should, you always mess around with everybody. You should be finding a school for wrestling." Unprofessional. Sorry. Uh, so they told me, "Hey, go find a wrestling school." I did not know the indies existed.
Okay.
To me, the only thing that existed was WWE or WWF at the time, ECW, WCW. And because I lived in New York, you could see AAA and CMML. And, obviously in WCW, they would bring the New Japan guys over. So I did not know the indies existed. So they're telling me, like, oh, find a school. So in my head, I'm like, there's no way my mom's going to let me go all the way to Stamford, Connecticut to train at the Funkin' Dojo. It's just not going to happen. And wrestling was meant to be, because that same day when they told me you should find a wrestling school, I stumbled upon a wrestling poster. And in the main event, it was Danny Dorn versus AC Logan. I'm like, I know those guys. Like, the one AC Logan was a ref at ECW. Good for him. He's a wrestler now. And Danny Dorn was my favorite ECW wrestler. So I'm like, oh, if this is the place, if they're here, this has to be the place to be. So I went, checked it out. It was at the time it was NWA Upstate.
Okay.
Now it's Upstate Pro Wrestling. And the first match, Jay Lethal comes out, and me and Jay are almost the same height. I'm like, man, if he can do this, I can do this. Asked one of the wrestlers, like, hey, who do I talk to? They presented me to Mike Rosario, who's Hellcat. And I told him, hey, man, I think I want to do this. He goes, all right, kid, show up Tuesday and we'll talk. And that was back in November of 2004.
Okay. Back then, what was it like for you trying to make a name for yourself, not only in the New York area, but under that NWA umbrella?
Man, it was a lot of talent. I mean, there's still talent now, but back then, man, it was hard to get into places. And it's not as easy as it is today with social media. Back then, you had to have your 8x10, a paper resume. And for those kids who don't know, a VHS tape with your highlights. So, and you had to go to the mailbox and send it out, and hopefully somebody will respond. But in the East Coast at that time, and everywhere you went, man, there was talent galore. So it was a little hard to get, but at the same time, you network, you show them what you can do, and be respectful and help out in any way that you can. And all of a sudden, like with Upstate and being trained with AC Loke and Hellcat, and then doing the seminars with the Chris Heroes and all those, like I just started the ball going, and off to the races we were.
You brought up NWA Upstate. How important was that company, to the start of your career?
If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here right now. I didn't even know the Indies existed. Like I said, I thought it was just those three major companies. I'm not going to be able to travel back and forth in New York to Connecticut to do it. So I'm like, I'm just not going to do it. And then all of a sudden, I found NWA Upstate, and I owe my wrestling career to them because they gave me my start. At that time period in 2000, from 2004 to about 2012, it was the hotbed for the NWA outside of a Wild Side and TNA, obviously.
Okay.
So TNA was first and we were second.
Okay. Did they use you guys as maybe a feeder for like TNA? Is that something that happened?
A few guys have, yeah, a few. Not many, but we were rocking and rolling every month. We were good, and we may not have been. Some of my guys weren't going to TNA, but there was a lot that were going to Ring of Honor, Shikara, CZW, PWG. So like, we were everywhere.
They're just branching everywhere.
Yes, yeah.
What caused the NWA to split from Upstate? Do you know?
They didn't agree on certain things.
Okay.
Just business wise. It was just a business thing. They didn't agree on certain things, and then Hellcat was like, all right, man, you guys keep doing what you're doing, and I'm gonna do what I'm doing. And this is before Billy Corgan made the purchase. So This is with the previous owners. It wasn't with Billy Corgan.
Okay. What brought forth the formation of the Caribbean Connection?
Coconut Jones. So when I started, they tagged me with a kid named White Shoes. He was supposed to be the vet of the team. Everybody, real life happens.
Mhm.
Not problems between me and White Shoes, but just real life. He couldn't be at the school as much as I couldn't make some of the events. So they kind of broke me off from him.
Yeah.
Here comes Coconut Jones, and somebody in the office was like, dude, we got the Rican sensation Maximo Suave, and we got Coconut Jones. Like, if we put them together, they could be the Caribbean connection. So they came to me and pitched it to me, and I turned it down.
Okay.
I was like, no, I just got out of one tag, and you're trying to put me in another tag. And at this point, I'm still, and in my head, I'm still green. I'm like, I gotta take this. No, 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 no. What am I doing tonight? Oh, you have no choice. You're tagging with him tonight. So they came up to me and go, listen, just go out there, feel it, see how it goes. If it goes good, then we got something. If it doesn't work and you say no, we'll go back to the drawing board. So Jimmy Olsen comes up to me, who's one of the trainers, and he goes, listen, just go out there, call it in the ring, see what happens. Went out there for 15 minutes, and me and him gel like there was no tomorrow. So when I get to the back, they're looking at me like, you okay? No, I'm not okay. So what's wrong? You got a new tag team. And I just walked away. And me and Coco, man, we were everywhere. Like, we trained together every day. We were studying tapes at the house every day. Like, we were married for like 6-7 years. Just everywhere we went, we were just studying, getting better. And like, it was a good call on the office to put me and Coconut Jones together
Definitely.
in the
Definitely.
Caribbean
Especially
connection.
to see, a tag team, your first one didn't work out so well. And obviously you being skeptical, like, hey, I don't want to do this again. But then for that next one to click for, over half a decade, it's
Yeah, it
the,
clicked.
it just
And
worked.
and the and the funny thing is that when I told Coconut like I don't want to tag, and this is why, he looked at me. He's like, no, I understand. It's like, I get it. It's
Right.
like, but we got to tag tonight. I'm like, yeah, we'll tag tonight out. We'll go out there and we'll kill it. But I'm just telling you, I don't want to do this. And then we had that match, and the place is rocking and rolling. You see me in the corner going, man, we're a team. All right. As soon as we were done, I told him, yeah, you got a damn team. I pulled him to the side, like, if this is going to work, this is how we got to do it. And the only way this will end is if I'm holding you back or you holding me back, or we both agree that like we did our time. Let's move on to separate things because everybody wants to be world champion and all of that. So I get that. And we did everything that we could. We won titles all over the NWA, traveled up and down the East Coast and everything. And finally we sat down. Like, man, we did everything. Think it's time to go our separate ways. Like, yeah. Shook hands. We went to the office. Like, hey, this is what we think. They're like, okay.
Is that when the split happened and then you guys would ultimately go on to feud for the UPW championship?
Yeah, like we had the conversation, and then they split us up.
Hmm.
And then Coconut Jones became heavyweight champion. And man, as much as I was happy for him, I was pissed because I had more time than him. I did more, I put in the work and he got it before me. Like, I'm happy for him, but the competitive side of me was like, hell no. Nah. So I'm like, all right. So they came up to me and they're like, hey, we're thinking about doing this with you, and we want you to do this best of 7 match. I'm like, all right, cool. And then eventually, if anything, we'll get you to this title. I'm like, I don't want that. It's like, well, like, I don't want that. Coconut Jones just won the heavyweight title, the world title, because Glenn Spector made the UPW title a world title by defending it in DDT in Japan and Mexico. So it's a world title. Like, he won it before me. I'm not too happy about that. Like, I'm happy for him, but I'm not happy. So I want to be ready for when it's my turn to be champion. And one thing led to another. I turned my back on him and beat him to hell. And we went on like an 8-month feud that we were selling that place out every month. And the night that I beat him for the world title, there was like 600 people in the building. I was thinking that when I beat him, I thought they were going to be booing me out of the building. But they were on their hands, on their feet, just giving me a standing ovation. I'm just looking around like, what is going on? So I got to the back and they're like, dude, you've been here 10 years. They've seen everything you've done today. As much as they want to boo you today, they're just giving you respect, bro.
Yeah.
Following month, oh man, they booed me out of they booed me out of the building.
Okay. How'd that feel to, 10 years at this company, grinding, working, being in teams, doing whatever, and then finally, you win the belt. And I've heard a lot of guys say, "Hey, I don't know that reaction I'm going to get." But when the crowd pops and they're clapping, they should be booing, but they're excited for you. How'd
Right.
that feel?
It two things. Personally, pride, because I'm like, man, we just went for 8 months, did this for you. We got to this point, sold the place out, and they watched me and this guy damn near kill each other for 35 minutes. And no matter what we did, we had them in our palms. And finally, one, two, three, they're giving me my flowers of like, hey man, bravo. Professionally, I'm like, oh man, I screwed up. They're not supposed to be cheering. They're not supposed to be cheering. They're supposed to be booing me out of the building. So I am like walking to the back, like nervous, like waiting for somebody to be like, hey man, what's going on? But then, they told me like, hey man, 10 years, they're just giving you your props. You'll be fine next month. I'm like, oh, okay. And then the next month, oh yeah, man, they hated me.
It had to be the one of those you deserve it type moments.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yep.
That's exactly what it was.
What would you say is your favorite match or moment with Coconut? Maybe as a tag team, and then maybe as you guys against each other.
Okay, as a tag team, it was when we won our first two moments. First moment was when me and Coconut wrestled Brody Lee and Cloudy. They were Cloud Lee. And what we didn't know was they were our tests.
Okay.
Went out there, did the match with them. And then we came to the back, and I see Brody and Cloudy walking towards the promoter, and all I see Brody is thumbs up. And then I found out later on, it was our, excuse me, yeah, we were your test. I would have came back and said no, like they were gonna move on from you guys. So to knowing that we went toe to toe with those guys and Brody going, as you know, moving on to what he was able to accomplish, getting the thumbs up from him was cool, and it meant a lot to us. So, and then with Brody and Cloudy, we did a 4 tag team war games in front of 1,000 people, and that match was an hour and 5 minutes. And me and Coconut Jones did the full hour and 5 minutes.
So y'all was Iron
But
Man.
oh yeah, but it was just funny because we're just like, man, when is this gonna end? And it just kept going and going and going. Finally, boom, big win for us. 1,000 people, cheering and everything. I'm looking at the first, like, how long did we go? He's like, hour and 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, first elimination didn't happen until 50 minutes in.
So it was like an elimination style war.
Yeah, because it was tags. It was 4 tag teams, and because it's the East Coast, so a lot of East Coast have 16-foot rings.
Mm-hmm.
Can't have 8 guys all at once in there. So we did eliminations. So we were all over the building, but we made sure when the eliminations were happening, we did it in the ring.
Okay.
And the first elimination happened at 50 minutes.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then obviously me and Coco selling the place out in that main event for the title.
Okay. Something I found really cool was in 2015, you got the opportunity to face TNA World Champion EC3 in a triple threat, but it wasn't in TNA, which made it different. What was that experience like getting to face EC3? Championship?
So didn't know about it until I got to the arena.
Okay.
So they got a hold of me, and they're like, "Hey man, we have this opportunity for you to wrestle EC3." I start laughing because I thought it was a joke. Because this promoter does not have the best track record,
okay,
or nor history. So he gets a hold of me, and I'm like, "Look, man, if you need me, just tell me you need me. Don't give me this BS that you got this." Like, no, it's for real. All right, cool. So the next, I get there and bypass the promoter, found EC3. Like, hey, I heard it's me and you tonight. He goes, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Then I turn around. Oh, hey. I get to the ring, and then all of a sudden I hear the announcer say like, "Yeah, this match is for the TNA World Title." I'm like, "Well, nobody told me that." So I told the ref, I'm like, "Hey, man, what if I stick him here? If I stick him here and win the title, like that means TNA got to give me a contract, right?" And the ref was like, "Yes, they do." I'm like, "All right, bet." It didn't went that way.
Didn't work
EC3
that
is a
way.
good man. But it was so cool because it was like, once again, the guy who was running the company knew that I was the guy to go one on, be able to challenge for that TNA World Title.
Mhm.
A matter of fact, I was his 11th title defense
Okay.
because the three-way was the beginning. Then we got rid of him, and then it's me and him just kept going, and eventually he got the W on me.
That's cool.
But
So
it was cool. It was surreal because it was like, is this really happening? And at the time, I was a UPW heavyweight champion,
okay.
and he's the TNA world champion. So if you go on my social media, we did a face-off to take that picture, so we could, hey, our UPW champion just challenged for the TNA world title.
Okay. So you used it as like a promotional tool to kind of like
Yeah, well, for me, it was a moment. It's like, hey, man, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to challenge for this title again. So I want this moment. And credit to EC3, he gave me that moment.
it's something I've had the pleasure to have EC3 on the podcast, and I've met him in person. Phenomenal human being. Like
And what a character.
I always, it's not EC3 is EC3 100% of the time.
Yeah,
There's no off switch.
no, no,
Were
there
you
isn't.
able to like have any time with him and pick his brain and things like
Yeah,
that?
yeah. He
Okay.
was very open and gave me so much advice and what to do, what not to do. Like, yeah, he gave me all the time and place for like no hesitation. It wasn't one of like there's certain guys that when you try to talk to them, you can see it in their face and you can read their body. They're like, I really don't want to do this. With him, it was like, come on, sit here. What do you want to know?
Yeah.
Oh, this and this and this. He's like, oh yeah, do this and do that. Don't do this. Hey, if you really want to do this, try this. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, yeah.
It's funny you bring that up because like I've had guys that come on the podcast and it's just business. We got an hour, let's run it. And then EC3 though talked to me for like 20 minutes before, asked me a bunch of questions, got to know me first, and then afterwards, just because he was like, look, I'm gonna give you some advice, do this, and this next time, it'll be better. And then was like, you're out in Chicago. Let me pick your brain on some of the guys and girls that are out there. Maybe I like just to see if I'm missing something. And like our conversation turned into about a 2 hour conversation.
Oh, that'll happen.
And just credit to him for just giving people that time of day, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, for sure. Of
Um,
course, put yourself over back there.
You got to. You've been a part of so many tag teams, like a plethora of tag teams. Is there any that stick out above the rest, or do you just hold them all at a standard?
They're all the same because they all help me in so many different ways.
Okay.
When I tagged with White Shoes with the Barrio Boys, I was just starting. I was just happy that I was getting in the ring. And to be honest with you, I was a little scared because it's wrestling. This is always what I wanted to do, but now it's like, oh, I'm doing it, and I don't want to be terrible at it. So
Yeah.
when they told me, hey, you're tagging White Shoes, all right, man, he'll guide me. And then I got to work with so many cool tag teams at that moment, like the Dunn and Marcos from Ring of Honor, uh, the Backseat Boys, and all those guys. So it's like cool. I was able to do that. Then with Coconut, we won the tag titles. We did that long run. Got to wrestle Brody so many times, and just travel up and down the East Coast. And then with Chris Cade and Defiance, like I really found myself. I was able to just be myself and not kill myself. 'Cause, brother, I was killing myself out there in the ring. And when it was time to go home, Chris Caden's just I'm in the passenger seat, like, please don't hit that bump. I'm dying. And Chris Caden's like, you ready to learn? Like, are you ready to do it my way? and be yourself and just do it this way. I'm like, you know what? Fine, let's do it your way.
Do it.
And then when we did it, I'm like, man, you're on to something, man. Let's keep doing that.
It's one of those I hate to tell you you're right kind of things.
Yeah. But I was happy. I was so happy. I'm like, oh, and I was able to learn when I coined the phrase greatest hits. Like we knew when to do our greatest hits. We knew when it's hey, we gotta step it up now. Like I learned so much in character development with Caden. Like it was he's a handful sometimes, but yeah, but I hold all of them in the same standard because like I said, every tag team I learned something new that made me a better wrestler and a better person. So they're all special to me.
Lately, you've been able to make OVW your new home. Tell
Yeah.
us how you started working with OVW.
Amazing Maria. That's how OVW happened. It was a conversation, and she was just curious, like, "Hey, why you never come to OVW? You never been in OVW and everything?" I'm like, in all honesty, it just wasn't in my radar. I'm in the East Coast. I'm booked every weekend from Maine all the way down to almost to Florida. Like, I've never thought of it. And one thing that I would need to work at as a wrestler is being able to communicate with a promoter. I hate it. Sometimes I feel like they shouldn't be running shows. That's another story. But she's like, "Oh, you should try OVW." I'm like, "Yeah, sure. One of these days I would." And here, it's my birthday. She goes, "Oh, hey, by the way, I'll be talking to OVW and everything. And they're gonna give you a shot." And made my debut on my birthday, April 28th, 2022. Oh, she left. April 28th, 2022.
Match has down.
Huh?
I said, I think that's what the Cage Match site has down.
Yeah. It was April 28th, 2022. My first match at OVW was against Star Rider for the Rush Division Championship.
Okay.
Nervous.
I'm gonna backpedal a little bit. How did you meet Maria then?
I met Maria many years ago at Rockstar Pro in Dayton, Ohio. Just like, hello, how you doing? And over the years, we kept in touch, and then started chasing.
And now you're married.
And I wore her down. Right? I wore you down. But we've known each other for a long time and just kept in touch throughout the years. And then eventually I was like, hey, I had a little crush on you. Oh, you're a hot mess. Oh, you're a hot mess. And I wore her down. Okay. And now we got these.
now you're together forever.
Now we're together. Yeah.
I've heard in this business it can be tough working with your significant other. Is that something you guys face, or do you guys find it easier to work together? And
you know what? We're such pros that we can both agree to disagree when it comes to wrestling, because wrestling is subjective. You may think one thing is good, and to me, it's not. Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna look at you and say, "Okay, is that what you? Okay, you think this is good? Awesome. This is why it's not for me." And we'll do it here. We'll explain it. I was like, "Oh, okay," and then like nothing never happened.
Something that I've been like not anxious to ask you, but ready to ask you is Maria's known for her high risk death match style. Is that something that ever bothers you as being her husband?
No, not at all.
Okay.
They try to convince me to see if I want to do it, and I go, no, I'm good. Not my style. That's her. That's all her. Okay. I let her have that.
Which is cool if you think about it, because you have one style of wrestling that fits you, and then she has another. So it's two sides of the same coin.
Right. But the thing about it, she's a real good wrestler. Don't tell her I said that.
I won't.
She's a real
I'll let her put herself over.
But she does the death matches, like that's what she loves to do. She's all about wrestling too, but that's her forte. That's her forte. She tried to convince me a couple of times, see if I would do and wear her. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Okay. something else that's curious because I've had Haley J on here.
Oh,
What's
oh,
it like
yeah.
dealing with the two of them? Because they're both characters.
It's a handful.
I see you're being
It's
careful
a,
with what you say.
it's no, they're characters. But
Yeah.
normal day to me.
Okay. So
Like
it's a part of the package.
it's part of the package. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. It's got to be cool having a wrestling family. You know, you, her, Haley, all of you guys do your own versions of this everywhere across the board. It's got to make that, the dinner table interesting.
Yeah, because it's everybody giving their perspective.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, sometimes we don't all agree, but then we all agree to disagree.
Okay.
You know,
That makes sense.
so it's like, and it makes for a better conversation because like that, we're not all liking the same thing. So then, after if everybody likes all the same thing, after a while, it's just boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for us, it just makes the conversations even better. And sometimes, just for shits and gigs, I just disagree just to disagree.
You got to stir the pot sometimes.
Yeah.
I understand.
Like for me, you know what I love? I love terrible wrestling.
Okay.
I
Explain.
to, uh, there's sometimes I mean everybody there's workers, and there's people that play wrestlers and try to play workers,
Yeah.
which means they don't put in the time. They treat wrestling like a softball, which is okay. But those that treat it like a softball means they're not putting the time, the hard work like we are. And then they go out there and try to give their WrestleMania matches, and I'm just over here like, that's not WrestleMania. You need to go back to training.
Okay.
But I enjoy them,
Okay.
so
That's
I
fun.
enjoy them, and I torture her because I bring her to shows, and she's like, "Why are you doing this to me?" I'm like, "Come on, I just want to go. Come on." And I'm entertained. I'm not laughing at them. I just get entertained.
Okay.
And then the guys who are trying to put in the work, they'll come up to me, "Hey, what do you think?" And I lay it out for them. This is what it is. And then it's on them if they're going to be receptive to everything that I say to go and apply it, or it just fall upon deaf ears.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah,
Um, Going back to OVW,
yeah,
you're back in another tag team. Was that
yes.
the plan? Or was you planning to go in singles and then all of a sudden they put you
I
with the peso?
I I try singles,
Okay.
and at the time, OVW had such a big roster that it's hard to get a few matches by yourself. So I got hurt.
Okay.
Uh, we pitched the idea of me and Hota when I first started at OVW, but they just wanted to see what we could do on our own and everything. And the day that Al Snow came up to us and go, "You guys are a tag team," that same night I hurt my knee, and I sat out from August to January. And at that time, Hota caught so much fire. It was like, dude, I can't tell them to put you with me right now. Like you're on fire. Like do your thing. And then we just, I was like, hey, be patient, be patient. I'm gonna put you guys together. I'm gonna put you guys. So me and Hota put it together. Like we pitched the idea to him and everything, and he just wanted to see the package, and we showed him the whole package to the whole deal. And he's like, oh yeah, yeah, this I'm gonna make this happen. And then one day he just comes up to us and goes, all right, guys, let's do it. And been off to the races with that.
You
Because
know,
me and Manny, I call him Manny. Me and Manny wrestled each other.
okay.
And the thing about it is that Maria kept telling me before I came down to OVW, she would tell me that, man, you gotta come to OVW. I got this guy. Man, if you guys were to work each other, I can see you guys either in a feud or I can see you guys in a tag team and it'd be fire. I'm like, oh yeah, all right, cool. And then I met him and I'm like, oh man, you cool. And then we worked together, got to the back. I'm like, oh man, you seen the magic we just did, just wrestling each other? Imagine what we can do tagging. Would you be up to it? He goes, yeah, man. We tagged one time in SummerSlam weekend of 2022.
Okay.
tagged that one night and magic. I mean magic. Al Snow doesn't give people the oh you guys had match of the night very often. And he came up to us like, oh yeah, match of the night.
Okay.
I'm like, yo man, put us together, and we kept going. Now me and Holt are tag team right now, and the goal is to be tag team champions somewhere down the line.
That was my next question. I mean, you guys are in quite the winning streak in OVW, winning match after match after match. I know, tag champs. We got new tag champs,
Yep, the trifecta.
trifecta. I've had Brandon Beretta on, quite the character, quite the wrestler. That's
He's
a
a real good wrestler. Yeah.
that's a tough one. I'm sure you believe wholeheartedly that you and Hota though can take those tag team titles.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it won't be a walk in the park, but I'm for sure know that it'll be a knockout, drag out, but we'll be able to handle that.
Okay. Which that leads me into my last question, at least for this interview, because I
Okay, yeah.
plan on asking you to come back for another one. But last
Please,
question.
listen, man. I am a very long-winded. I got 20 years of experience. Trust me, we can talk
We
for
can talk all
hours,
night.
and I'm all for it. I'm not against it. I'm all for it.
We are halfway through 2025. What are the goals for the rest of the year?
To become tag champions. I'm a very history buff, and I told the wife I have two goals at OVW, and that's OVW Tag Team Champion, OVW Heavyweight Champion. Because of the lineage. If you look at the lineage and the history behind both titles, it's like I want that when people search that, my name is with that.
Okay.
I know all the tag champions, I know all the OVW champions. So I want when somebody look like, oh, Maximo held this title, oh, and this guy, Cody Rhodes and this.
You want to be in
I
the
want my name to be. Yeah,
in that
I want to
list.
be on that list. Yes.
I like it. I love it actually. Um, Maximo, I just want to say thank you so much. Wish I
I
had
want to say
time.
thank you because I know the schedule's conflicted a
Back
couple
and
of times.
forth.
I
Yeah.
know, but I wanted to make sure that I get on this. And like I said, man, anytime you want, let me know. I'll make it happen, and we can continue this conversation, man. It's real fun.
Sounds great. Before we go,
Yeah.
I like to do it at the beginning and the end. You want to shout out the social medias just in case they missed at the beginning.
All social medias, X, Facebook, Instagram. Are there still Jive videos out there? No?
I don't know.
Legit. No? Any of them at Maximo Suave.
Okay. Sounds
At
good.
Maximo Suave.
And I'm gonna leave it off and see you next time then.
I will see you down the road, my friend. Thank you so much.